Hey everybody, Rob Arnold here with More Music, and many of you know me as the cymbal guy. I'm also the coffee guy here at the shop, and this is my new show, Coffee Talk with Rob Arnold. Today my guest is none other than the current owner of More Music, Brett Mulzer. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah, not sure how long that's going to last, but
might go crazy.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
I'd serve him coffee. The whole idea with this show is to have a discussion over coffee, but he can't stand it.
Okay, this is like the most nauseous thing I've ever been around. I'd rather be around a nuclear reactor than this right here.
So what's going on?
Just having some fun at the store today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how long have you owned the shop now?
Since 2012. It's actually like right at 4 years.
And how did this come about? How did you get here?
Well, here.
Right
here, I drove here today. I walked part of the way.
Yeah.
No, but to make a very long story short, I had a recording studio about an hour away in a small building, or in a building in a small town, and a lot of my clients were coming from Evansville. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, instead of making them drive down there to the small town, I'd move here. My wife and I wanted to move here to have more opportunities for our kids, and we just kind of wanted to move to a little bit bigger town, bigger city. So we found out that More Music was going to go out of business, actually, believe it or not, after like 36 years, 35, 36 years. And so I bought the building to put the studio in the back because it's kind of a landmark. If anybody wanted to know where the studio was, I could say,
At More
it's
Music.
at More,
Sure.
the old More Music building. Yeah. Well, so I bought the building, then Pat Moore, the original owner, and their owner at the time, decided to stay in business. If he could downsize, make it a mom and pop, he just moved everything from here up to the front, and I built the studio. And then 6 months later, he said, "No, I'm done. I do want to retire." And so I bought the store, and then basically immediately it kicked the studio out of the building.
So you've been a customer of More Music over the years. Tell us a little bit about.
I bought my first guitar here in like '88 or '89. The records don't go back that far, and then like 6 months later, I came in and bought a Pearl Export Series 9-piece kit with about 20 cymbals, just ridiculous, because I wanted to be Lars Ulrich,
right.
But not on Tama, but Pearl.
Right.
But I wanted a Tama, but I was too impatient to wait because he had the 9-piece here. And I'm sure Pat talked my dad into buying what was in stock, So,
right.
So anyway, so I bought my first 2 instruments here, and then pretty much stayed loyal to the store for a long time. I was in and out of other places, but I always came back.
So what was the conversation like with Cindy when you came home one night, not too long after relocating the studio and everything here to Evansville? The conversation of, hey, what do you think about owning a music store? How did that come about, and what was the initial reaction to that?
Well, to layer on top of all that she had to go through, a month before we moved moved from Tell City, the small town, to Evansville, the Evansville area, we'd had a baby, our youngest kid, Molly. So we moved while my daughter was 3 weeks old, like that, unexpectedly. We both wanted to do it, but it was pretty stressful. Then 6 months later, it's to own a music store. Needless to say, we were both pretty stressed, but the, blessing, of it all was that he had downsized to where it was very manageable, and then we've grown it to what it is. We grew it back up and then some to what it is today.
What are some of your favorite aspects of owning not only a music store, but More Music?
Oh God, I'm not just saying this to sound like, cliche, but there's so much to love about it, but the first things that come to mind are getting little kids started on stuff, guitars, drums, whatever. Working with you guys, that's huge. We spend more time together awake than we do with our families,
True.
So we better like each other, Those are the 2 main things. Obviously getting to talk and, talk to people about their next level gear and the high end stuff, the expensive cymbals, the high end guitars is a lot of fun because, Evansville's never had a place like this. When you talk about a brick and mortar shop, I mean, they've never had a place where there were 700 cymbals to pick from, or, Martin, Taylor, Breedlove, PRS, Fender, high-end Fender stuff, high-end Ibanez, and, everything you can think of that you would normally dream of in a bigger city. People finally have it. And if you know me, I'm not bragging about that.
Right.
I'm excited about it because it gives me the opportunity to be a part of that culture and to really connect with those musicians.
What are some of the surprises that came about after getting your feet wet and getting into it a little bit? I'm sure there were some things that you expected and you ran into some things that you didn't expect. What were some of the, good or bad, what were some of the surprises that you ran into?
Probably some of the biggest surprises, and this is just what we're doing now, is how much content we have to create because of the social media. The way life has changed, the way social media has changed the way people look for things and shop and engage with people and each other, and the way each of those social media outlets have changed in the short time that I've been here. It's hard to keep up with, and you think, oh, well, we'll grow. The idea was to grow the shop to a reasonable level, then grow the online business so we can really make an awesome brick and mortar shop, and then they both be kind of awesome together.
Sure.
Well, as we were, so it was kind of like, well, if we have the inventory, people will come, right? Build it and they will come, but with social media like it is today and the way advertising and marketing is, it's completely
I think
different.
it's given us all shorter attention spans.
Absolutely.
And there's so many things out there competing for everyone's short attention. That if you're 10 seconds out of sight, out of mind, there's 10 other things that have replaced it. So I think we find that we have to constantly kind of not really reinventing ourselves, but constantly coming up with entertaining ways to be present.
Yeah, and it ends up being fun because we do stuff like this. These are never stressful anymore.
No.
Because we do them all the time. Right. But that, if I had to say that was one surprise, that was it.
I know there's probably a couple, but give me one thing, one aspect of your day-to-day business here at More Music that you just wish didn't exist.
Bills. No, but honestly, just perfectly honest, I don't like when people don't get good service, whether it's from, we don't provide bad service. We can't be perfect. Something's going to go wrong, but on a day-to-day basis, we strive to provide such good service that I get aggravated when people get taken advantage of. And we hear about it in here. People will come from other places or call us from another place and, give us their war stories. And that's what aggravates me because it puts a black eye on the whole industry.
Sure.
We're all not these amazing guitarists that are so jaded that we think we can treat anybody with the very little respect. We're good dudes and we happen to play music, and we love talking, gabbing, whatever you want to call it, having coffee over talking about gear. I mean, we do it every morning for an hour or two.
So speaking of gear, what is your instrument of choice these days?
Well, I'm mainly a guitarist. So like my favorite guitar that I have recently acquired was a CE24 PRS. It's a killer guitar. I'm looking at a 594, but one thing I'm very excited about is my Magnatone Super 59 that I just got. It's
great
still
amp.
in boxes because we just moved the house, you know, and I don't want to take it to that hell zone construction area, you know, so it's waiting, and I'm waiting for it. But you know, with regards to the stuff we have percussion wise, I mean the new crescent cymbals, you know, if I'm going to build a new drum set, well, same drum set, but I'm going to build a different cymbal setup.
Yeah, right.
Some of those crescent cymbals sound killer. I'm a huge thin cymbal fan.
Yeah.
You know, I like a heavy ride, but thin crashes, thin hi-hats where they're real crisp, and I can do a lot of articulate, you know, doubles and stuff on them. So, you know, I'm not into huge hi-hats like things are starting to go now,
Right.
but bigger cymbals, thinner cymbals, you know, that's kind of all the rage, and I hate to be part of that like bandwagon, but there's a reason for this, I think. You know, we're not just following some dude that wants to play big cymbals that said they're cool.
Yeah.
They're tasteful. You know, they're not as aggressive. They can be aggressive, but you know, that's not the reason, or that's not what they do. You know, they basically like, they're just nice and musical.
Right.
You know, so.
So give me 2 all-time favorite bands, and then give me 2 maybe bands that you've recently discovered that you like.
Well, 2 all-time favorite bands. I mean, one's going to be Iron Maiden for sure. The other one, Boston. Those 2 for sure, hands down. There's a lot of close seconds. You know what I mean? I don't want to act like not that anybody's going to take my choices and put it all over TMZ or whatever. But but you know, there's those 2 are right here, and there's a 15 right there. You know. 2 bands that I've recently discovered, Snarky Puppy is ridiculous. You know, they've been around for several years, but I've just recently
me too. I think we're all here at More Music just getting acquainted with that group. Yeah, absolutely.
And then re-liking King's X again. I mean, I know that's your favorite group, but you know, you guys have got me digging deeper into the catalog than I ever did before, you know, and just freaking out about that stuff. Yeah. So, but
do you feel like in the last 3 years, do you feel like you've, as far as where you thought you would be with More Music since buying it, are you there? Are you where you thought you'd be in the first 3 years? Are you shy of that, past that, and then what do you think the next 3 years are going to bring from More Music?
Well, just like you guys always say, when I say something will take an hour, it probably really takes 3, you know. So I always want it to be bigger and better, not for the sake of making money, but just, you know, it's nothing to do with money. It's just about the place being successful and being what we all envisioned it to be from the beginning. Right. I'm happy with where we are. I mean, we get to do what we want to do every day. We're always changing stuff. You know, we changed from the drum focus to cymbals, which has proven to be amazing. And that wasn't for any reason of losing money or anything like that, but we evolved or took a side step because we feel like we can focus and serve our customer better. You know, I think we're starting to do that with guitars too. You know, we did that for the first year with guitars. We were changing all the time, trying to figure out which muscle we're going to move, you know, and then we changed, and then here we are where we are with guitars, and we're getting ready to shift gears again, you know. And now that we've done the cymbal thing and brought you in on that, I mean, it's been ridiculous, you know. So I can't be upset at all about where we're at, you know. I'm happy.
Where do you see us going in the next 3 years?
I see us moving over to a different part of town. We're kind of off the beaten path. Evansville's kind of grown east of us. Still not hard to get to, you know, but but I see us moving within the next 18 to 24 months. I see us probably cutting some lines, you know, but bringing other ones in to fill the gap, you know, something that we feel like we can. Like I said, it's ever changing, you know, it's evolving all the time.
Our customers kind of tell us,
yeah,
in regards to product,
yeah,
what's hot and what's not. We have to,
yeah,
you know, if you're not paying attention to that.
yeah. And that's one thing that I think is, you know, yielded a lot of success for us, is listening to the customers. You know, people like Sean and Eli and these guys that are always coming in and telling us, you know, what they want. It's huge to listen to them. Yeah. I mean, they're great musicians, you know, so why not listen to them if they've got taste? You know, somebody like Heath, you know, it's like, if you don't listen to those guys, who in the hell are you going to listen to? Right. You know, you can't always listen to the manufacturers, because they're going to, you know, they don't try to push you into something, but they're looking at what everybody wants all over the world.
And we can't assume that everybody likes exactly what we like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I learned whatever I like, it's usually the opposite. Right. So you know, we go to NAMM, and we, like Dennis always says, whatever he picks, pick the other color, you know. So, but no, but I see us, you know, obviously keep growing. We have to keep growing to compete, and but I see us moving. I see us expanding what we offer online and in the store, and just tidying things up.
Last year we brought in Evansville Music Academy, and you know, we had a lesson program to speak of before that. What do you feel bringing them into the fold has done for us, and how do you see that being a part of More Music's future? Well,
the obvious thing is people are going to say you brought it in as a business decision, which it is. I'm not going to get, but probably the best part of it to me is the students that are walking through the door. We get to talk to them. I get to see kids that were my age when I started, you know, and watch them grow. You know, they have the recitals twice a year where we get to go watch and see how they've evolved. And you walk through there, and you know, we got the glass doors and everything where you can see these kids from like trying to play something into where they can strum and play scales and stuff. And you see this evolving, you know, and that's to me, I mean, if you just want to get business out of the way, which is what I'm not that focused on, that's the best part for me, is just the vibe of the students being here, you know, and then the instructors are awesome too. They come up and chat, and it's good to talk gear with them.
Well, and it's great too that, you know, you talk about, well, was it a business decision to bring that? Well, sure, it was a good business decision, because what it allowed us to do is bring in the experts. Yeah. You know, instead of us trying to juggle what we do out here with the inventory and sales, and maybe only being able to give a percentage of our attention to our lesson program and to our students. This gives those students a fully dedicated group of people that are just focused on the curriculum and vetting the teachers and making sure we've got, you know, the best of the best. And keeping it running smoothly. Yeah.
It's a well-oiled machine back there. I mean, it's slick, so we could never do that now. I mean, when we got out of it, we were having a hard time keeping up with it, and that was a year and 7 or 8 months ago. And now, as busy as we all are, there's no way. I mean, I would have pulled my hair out a long time ago, you know.
And you have great hair.
Oh, thanks. Is it good today?
Thank you. It's a good hair day. All right, folks. Brett, thank you so much for joining us for the first episode.
Make it the second.
The second? Okay, because you didn't have coffee.
Because I didn't have coffee. I can't be the first one.
For the second episode of Coffee Talk with Rob Arnold, right here live from or pre-recorded live.
In front of a studio audience.
From More Music in Evansville, Indiana. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Hey everybody, this is Brett, this is Rob, this is Alan, and we're 3 grown men sitting way too close together here to tell you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Right down there, just scroll right down there.
And make sure to visit our new cymbal site, which is morecymbals.com.
Thanks.